Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to Hearthstone, the Grand Tournament pack opening. I used to play quite a lot of Hearthstone when it was just simple vanilla, but I sort of fell off and got pulled in a different direction right around the time the various adventures were coming out, and Gnomes vs. Goblins and all that stuff, and I really haven't played at all, or in fact owned that many of the cards from anything between vanilla and the Grand Tournament. But I'm going to try to remedy that. I want to get back into Hearthstone, and I figure what a perfect time to do it. I went ahead and did the pre-purchase of 50 packs, and I figure what the hell, let's open them up and see what's in there. I haven't even gone through and read the spoilers for the Grand Tournament. Now, the server has just been updated with this. It's being hammered pretty heavily. I'm hoping that the pack opening is going to be pretty like reliable here, but if there's any lag or anything, well, we'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead and pop these bad boys open. I should go one at a time actually, because I really don't know the card pool. Tiny Knight of Evil is a fantastic effing name. Whenever you discard a card, gain +1/+1. It is a demon, a 3/2 demon, and again, it's been a while since I played, but I mean, a 3/2 for 2 is never terrible. The discard mechanic is interesting. I'll be curious to watch and see what kind of discard mechanics might actually be tied into this. Certainly, again, from my days of playing vanilla, right? If you play, say, the Succubus, you'd have to discard a card, for example. And a few other things in the Warlock mechanic. Was it Soulburn? Was that the name of the card? God, it's been so long. So there are already a few things, but there might be some more, which is interesting, because this should be a permanent +1/+1 gain, which is not insignificant. Tuskbar, Totemic, Battlecry, summon any random totem. So 3/2 for 3 ain't that great, but a totem is pretty good. Now, I'm assuming this is one of the standard Shaman totems from the class ability. But I don't know, maybe it can be one of his summon totems, in which case, or his casted totems, like the totem cards. And if so, that would be sick insane. Even as is, that's not bad card economy, which shamans already have. Okay, big fat warlock demon with no special abilities. There are a few warlock cards that let you like just summon a random demon, so I guess that deepens the pool for that. Not sure what else is going on. Of course, those are commons. There's, Paladin, Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, restore 7 health to your hero. So, a Paladin fat deck, I suppose, that would benefit from there. And luckily, this never fails, never backfires and heals damage for your opponent, which is nice, I guess. Interesting. Doesn't strike me as spectacularly strong, although 7 health is quite a lot. Even if it only fires half the time, that's not terrible. Uh-oh, here's some lag. There it goes. All right. Shady Dealer, Battlecry. If you have a pirate, gain +1/+1. Man, have pirate decks, like, is there enough pirates yet? Because I know that in vanilla, there weren't quite enough pirates to really make pirate decks particularly viable. And this guy doesn't even count as a pirate, which is kind of annoying. Injured Gvalder. 2/4 for 1. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to this mission. A minion. Okay, so he comes in as a 2/1 that can be healed. Procs anything that procs when a minion takes damage. And of course can be healed up by healing spells. Reminds me of the Injured Blade Master, which I guess, you know, it's got injured in the name, so what the hell. Demon Fuse, give a demon +3/+3. Give your demon a mana crystal. Holy speed lock, Batman! I mean, giving your opponent a mana crystal is brutal, but that is a huge amount of damage. I mean, literally, like, you can beat down your opponent super fast with it, but also it makes a huge beast that can be really hard to deal with. Maiden of the Lake, a reference to the Arthurian myth. Forecast plus 2/6. I mean, that's pretty big and beefy. Your hero power costs 1. And for all classes. That's interesting. Huh. That strikes me as pretty damn good. In fact, I think this might be really nice in Arena specifically. Maybe not as much in Constructed. But in Arena, 2/6, like, you know, usually just like sort of fat creatures that can trade very efficiently is nice. People can't necessarily construct their decks around having, you know, a good mechanic for not being killed off. She might trade 1 for 2, 1 for 3 maybe if you're lucky. Or have any ability to heal. And the hero power costing 1 is actually really nice in that context. Wow. I like that. Dragonhawk Rider, Inspire. Inspire does something after you use your hero power. What a great new mechanic. Okay, I'd heard about Inspire something, but I'd forgotten what it was. So you hero power, and then it triggers this, which is Wind Fury this turn. Very cool. All classes. Well, heck, combos with maybe with the Maiden Lake. I mean, you know, usually all classes, commons, are not necessarily that potent, but I like it. To me, it seems impressive. Maybe, you know, some of these cards I'll be like, oh, this sounds really good, and then turn out we'll never use it. And others, like, it doesn't seem that strong, and then you use it all the time. Ice Rager, I'm going to think, is going to be in the pretty crap pile. That is so squishy that it's very rarely going to trade advantageously. Yeah, it's a lot of damage, but come on. Wild Walker. Give a friendly beast +3 health. Ooh, I like it. How many beasts does the Druid have? I usually think of beasts as a hunter thing, right? A beast deck. Now, of course, a lot of those beasts were neutral. And again, I don't have some of the card pool here, so I'm a little bit out of the of knowing how many cards each class might have of a particular type. Not to mention how many neutrals might be, just because I have missed some stuff. Convert. Put a copy of an enemy minion in your hand. So it's a minion that's in play gets put in your hand. Huh. The enemy minion. So do you get to pick? It doesn't say put a copy of target minion, but it also doesn't say put a copy of a random minion. Of an enemy. Yeah, I have no idea if this is random or not. It's kind of ambiguously worded. I'm going to assume this is random. Which doesn't necessarily make it bad? Huh. I mean, obviously the dream is like, oh, you can convert some big-ass legendary, right? But how often is that going to happen? I don't know. A Buccaneer, hey, there's another pirate. Rogue at that, and of course, I think like some of the pirates are neutral, but I think the rogues may have already had some pirates specifically for them. I'm not sure. And there was that other card with the pirate. Buccaneer, 2-1 for 1, fine. Whenever you equip a weapon, give it +1 attack. So every time you use your rogue power, this gets +1 attack, which is great. Now, it's still very squishy, but that's very interesting. Clockwork Knight, 5/5 mech, give a friendly mech +1/+1. Okay, so it won't be itself because unlike see, I'm still used to playing Magic. Most of these effects would be when it comes into play, do this to a card. But the battle cry you have to target as you're casting this thing. Got a lot to get through. Come on, open, open. There we go. Server lag. Okay, we saw you. Ooh, Inspire. So this would gain 1 health every time I use the hero power, which can make it really tough, because that's better than healing, because it can actually increase your cap. Very nice. Healing Wave, restore 7 health. Reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, restore 14 instead. That's a lot of healing. That is a crap ton of healing. I mean, 7's not bad. 14, holy crap. Now, this can't put you above your cap, but that can really, really slow down. Like, Shaman anti-aggro deck? I don't know. Inspire, give your weapon +1 attack as a warrior. So you have to have a weapon out, and then you're using your ability to give yourself just armor. So you have to have a weapon cast, but +1 attack doesn't give it more durability. I don't know about this one. Lowly Squire, 1/2 for 1. It's fine. Inspire, gain 1 attack. That's also fine. Can potentially allow you. So turn 1, cast it. Turn 2, use your power and trade with this. It's not terrible. I was not going to say it's a great card, especially in a constructed kind of setting. But again, I would say like, it might trade pretty nicely in an arena setting. Okay, we saw you. Evil Heckler, 5/4 for 4 with taunt. Wait, isn't the Yeti the like standard benchmark for high quality card like a 4/5 for 4? I haven't played in a while. And generally, I probably would like the 5 toughness or the 5 health more than the 5 power, especially since this makes it vulnerable to being killed by those priest cards. But that taunt, holy crap, that is a good quality card. Again, you know, I'm not making an assumption that it's going to make it into all kinds of constructed decks, but it's a good quality card. I just, you know, good value is what I see it as. Brave Archer, yeah, this looks like Brave from the movie, you know, with the red hair and stuff. 2/1 for 1. Always fine. It is a class-specific card. Inspire. If your hand is empty, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Okay, so if your hand is empty and you use your hero power to already do 2 to the enemy hero, this does more. So this is like a hunter speed deck where it starts to really deal a lot of damage from your hero power, and hero power already puts them on a clock. Ooh, I like this. Flash Heal. Restore 5 health for 1. I mean, that's cheap. Don't get me wrong. That is really cheap. But the problem is it worth a card for 5 health? Maybe, maybe not. Usually the heals, you're okay with the heals being relatively more expensive for a big chunk of health, because usually you need the heals later on in the game when you have the mana crystals anyway, and then you want to restore like 10 plus health ideally. I don't think this is going to be a standard power card, but yeah, it's fine. Sparring Partner, 3/2 for 2, warrior, with taunt. Battlecry, give a minion taunt. Love it. Yeah, that's great. That is a good card. Really, really, probably very solid. I mean, not the toughest taunt creature there is, but you're also giving something else taunt. Good value card. Yeah, and that's usually what I like to see. I like to see cards that seem to have good value. And then, because I don't know the big picture, because I don't know all the cards, plus I haven't seen all the cards, plus I have to, you know, reread the card list multiple times. I don't see all the combos to start off with, but I get turned on by value. Tournament Medic. Gold card. All classes. Very shiny. 1/8 for 4. Alright, tough. And Inspire, restore 2 health for your hero. So every time you use your hero power, you heal by 2. What a freaking way to slow things down. Give this thing taunt, and all of a sudden, again, you've just put up a massive wall for aggro decks. But it does need taunt, because at one point, it's not going to... it's often not going to trade with that many things. Like, if it was a 2 damage, then all of a sudden you're looking at the probability of killing 2 or maybe 3 creatures, depending on how things go. With 1 damage, you're just not putting out that much damage. But if you do give it a bit more damage, or you do give this thing taunt, that's pretty impressive. Another one of those fatties. Spawn of Shadows Priest card. 5/4 for 4. Inspire, deal 4 damage to each hero. Wait, including yourself. Some sort of aggro priest thing. I mean, as a priest, you're in a good situation to keep yourself healed. And you're probably inspired to generally slow the game down in terms of just clogging up the board with things to sort of block, and you're healing. And maybe you're taking less damage from creatures. It's an interesting way to potentially kill. What if you go and turn into a Shadow Priest? And doing 6 damage to them, 4 to you. Or you're just healing yourself every turn without being a Shadow Priest. You're doing 4 to them, 2 to you. And then maybe you have other healing spells. Interesting. I'm willing to bet that this is going to be a power card in a certain type of priest deck. Just one that, like, I wouldn't be able to construct right now off the top of my head. I'm willing to bet this is going to be a very potent card. But not just like a generic, just toss it into any old random deck card. Burgle. Rogue card. Add 2 random class cards to your hand from your opponent's class. Interesting. You are getting 2 cards for 3. It is random. It's not necessarily cards that are in their deck, just from their class, which opens up the possibility of getting some interesting stuff. Maybe not getting synergy. I wonder how good this is going to be. I mean, really, it's a net gain of 1 card, and you don't really have control over what the cards become. Pit Fighter. 5/6 for 5. Solid. Again, I think I would be very happy to get this in a sort of arena run where just beefy, solid creatures tend to be good, and it's a nice 5-drop, which, honestly, I always found the 5-drops to be kind of an awkward slot. I would probably pick up this Pit Fighter almost every time in an arena run. Well, I guess it depends what else you would see, but I like it. Again, just like, you know, for a baseline sort of toughness, I don't have the whole card list to compare against other 5 casting cost stuff, but you don't always have a choice of seeing everything. There's another one of those Buccaneers. Oh, no. Yeah. Another one of those Buccaneers. I like this. I want to make a Rogue Pirate deck. Polymorph. Bear. Or Boar. So, as opposed to the regular Polymorph, which is 4 and turns things into a 1/1 squirrel, this polymorphs something into a 4/2 boar with charge, which is very neat. It's not the same sort of removal that regular Polymorph counts at. It's a situational removal, but also a situational buff for your own creatures. It's interesting. It would certainly be nice to, like, turn your own 1/1 token into a 4/2 with charge as sort of part of a kill. And I guess that's one of the things that happens with this, is it gives you the ability to get a kill. It also gives you the ability to use something that might have already been damaged or weakened or disabled in some other fashion. Interesting. Can't tell if this is super good or super crap. Probably means it's actually good in situations. Flame Lance. 8 damage to a minion. Only a minion. Okay, so this basically kills any one thing. I mean, it's too bad you can't, you know, hit the player too, but that is some removal. Lance Carrier. 1/2 for 2. Okay, Battlecry. Give a friendly minion +2 attack. That's a permanent boost. It's not until end of turn. Nice. Solid. The sort of thing that you would put in a classic zoo deck in vanilla. I don't know if that's still a thing, but like a Warlock zoo deck, this would fit in beautifully into that sort of thing. It's just like pure aggro boost. Nice utility as well. Holy Champion. 3/5 for 4. Priest card. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. Holy shitballs. Now, a character is anything. It's a minion or a player. So whenever anything in the game gets healed, this gets a permanent +2 attack. And you can keep it, you know, topped off because you're playing a priest. Ooh, I love that card. That's a common? Oh, arena runs. That's going to be crazy. There'll probably be at least one in every one. Click, 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 click. There we go. Okay, another Evil Heckler. Silent Knight. No, that's funny. A 2/2 for 3. Stealth Divine Shield. Stealth Divine Shield? What's interesting about this is it does give you the ability... So what often happens with stealth dudes, or sorry, with the divine shielded dudes, is it gets popped with something that does 1 point of damage. You know, a little weenie or like a mage hero ability. But by having it stealthed, it means that's not going to be a problem. And then you get to use your divine shield ability to like trade at a 2-for-1. That's interesting. It also gives you a time to potentially buff this, like that other guy that gives it +2 attack, right? Cast him on turn 1. He's safe, he can't be targeted. Next turn, well, not on turn 1, but cast him on a turn, and then on the follow-up turn, give him +2 to attack, and now all of a sudden, with the Divine Shield, he can clear a lot of stuff. Colosseum Manager, Inspire, return this minion to your hand. Interesting. So, a 2/5 for 3 is fine. Can't complain about those numbers. So you trade with him a couple of times, like you use him to kill something, he takes some damage but doesn't die, then you bounce him to your hand so that you can recast him at full health. Right, but it's also sort of annoying in that you don't want to like, you're not going to want to use your hero power if he's at full health, and so it sort of handicaps what you can do on any given turn. I'm sure he has a role to play, but I don't think it's going to be very common. I might be wrong though. I might be missing something. It's very likely. Ancestral Knowledge. Draw 2 cards for 2 with an overload of 2. Well, I mean, you're gaining 1 net card. The overload does make it rough. Like, when are you going to cast this? I guess it's fine late game, which is usually when you want your card draw. It shrinks your deck. That's one of the things with card draw that you always have to remember is effectively, not only does this make it, you know, turn 1 card into 2 cards for a net gain of +1 cards in your hand, because you could have always drawn something else instead of Ancestral Knowledge, right? But what it does is it shrinks your deck. And by having 2 of these in your deck, now you're not having a 30-card deck, you have a 28-card deck, which is actually a good thing because it means that you get your... Usually you have a few key high-quality cards that you want to make sure you draw every single game, and this helps encourage you or enables you to draw those a little bit more frequently. It's probably a good card, but it does, you know, slow down your tempo otherwise. That's the thing. It gives you more card advantage, but it hurts your tempo because you're spending a turn casting it, and you get delayed with the overload. Another Lance Carrier. Love it. Dollar and Aspirant Mage. 3/5 for 4. Inspire, gain +1 spell damage. So every time you zap someone with your little Fire Blast as a mage, this gets +1 spell damage, which means your future spells are going to do more damage, but he's probably going to be a high priority kill target. Although he's you know, tough enough to make it hard to clear that out. I think it's probably rare that he'll last long enough to ever get more than +1 damage, but it does have to be dealt with. And it's not like he's a poor quality card, like as a 3/5. I'm not sold on him. I'm going to play with a bunch of Tiny Knights of Evil just because of the name, because it's awesome. And it is permanent +1/+1. I think this is really good, actually. Another Silent Knight. Lock and Load, Hunter. Cost 2. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card to your hand. So you've got to cast this first. And then, I mean, really, to get ahead, you want to cast this and then cast at least 2 spells after it. Now, Hunter's got plenty of really, really cheap spells. Of course, they're already going to have to be in your hand. That's interesting. I'm sure lock and load decks are going to be a thing, but you obviously have to build around it. You can't just splash this card in any old random thing. But I'm betting it's going to be a powerful, powerful card in the right kind of deck. Okay. Bone Guard Lieutenant. Right, we've seen you. Druid of the Saber. Choose one. Transform to gain charge. Or +1/+1 in stealth. Choose one. Transform to gain charge. I mean, I guess that transform is just like... It's choose one. Gain charge or +1/+1 in stealth. I feel that the charge is going to be very, very rare. Although it's interesting because it does give you the option to basically treat this as like a spell. Like pay 2 to do 2 damage to a creature. Right? Assuming that there's no taunt or whatever. Charge, it's nice as an option. But a 3/2 for 2 with stealth. Solid. Solid. Not great, but solid. Valdir Raider, Inspire, a permanent +2/+2. Wow, he is you gotta kill him instantly. Because if you drop him on turn 5 and then turn 6 use your ability, now he's a 6/6. That is some tempo. Now, we know that for 5, you can get, what, a 6/5 or a 5/6 or whatever it is, like just with no other ability. So, I mean, you do have to use this at least once just to sort of bring him up to parity, or slightly above parity, although it takes the turn to get there. But then he does become very dangerous, because if he's allowed to grow twice, then he becomes a beast. Sort of like the Questing Adventurer, right? Sort of a must-kill, pretty quick. Not strong, but neat. I like the Inspire mechanic. Living Roots. Druid spell for 1, deal 2 damage, or summon 2 1/1 saplings. Wow. That's good. I mean, a 1 casting cost creature tends to be like a 2/1 or a 1/2. Here you get 2 1/1s, which, I mean, sure, could maybe be like killed by an AoE, but no. And then you still have the option of just dealing 2 direct damage. Holy crap. That, I mean, I realize that the impact of this card isn't that big. So if you've got a deck that, you know, is any, like, sort of long-term thing, right? It's, like, supposed to survive in the late game. You don't want to draw this in a later part of the game. It's not going to be that handy. Although, I don't know, maybe 2 damage will be. And can be used as a kill. But, holy crap. So maybe not in a ramp druid, but, like, some sort of aggro druid. Like, the card quality here, like, for the mana is insanely good. Lights Champion, 4/3, Silence a Demon. What is this, like, the anti-warlock meta card? I mean, I suppose if in constructed, warlocks are doing, like, crazy stuff, right? Between, like, handlock and zoolock and different things like that. I don't know what the meta is. If that's a problem, well, this will stop that from being a problem. Unless demons start to... I don't think there's any neutral demons. But I don't know. You face Draxus, Erdar Lord. Seal the Champion. Give a minion +3 attack and Divine Shield. Like it. I like it. I mean, not giving them health means that they're relatively squishy normally, but Divine Shield, yeah, it's easy enough to pop, but no, I like that. That's cool. King's Elec. 3/2 for 2, Hunter card. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. Again, it doesn't have a disadvantage. A 3/2 for 2 is standard. I mean, standard maybe for like an all classes as opposed to a class-specific one. It's still a beast, which gives it some buffs, and sometimes it'll give you another card in your hand. That's great. Obviously, this works better if you have expensive minions than cheaper minions. But cool. It's also slightly anti-aggro, all these mechanics, because if you're facing someone who only has a deck full of cheap creatures, this is going to trigger more often, as well as the other ones like it. Reveal a minion in each deck. So there's a lot of this, which is sort of a soft anti-aggro, because it makes it easier to trigger. Although, it's kind of annoying that these two are so cheap, because if you draw one of these, then this will likely not happen. But a 1/2 for 1 is really solid, and with a possibility of being a 2/3. Like, turn 1, 2/3. Yeah, it's fine. Fat beast thing. King's Defender, warrior card. Okay, 3 casting cost, 3 attack weapon with 2 durability. If you have a minion with taunt, gain +1 durability. And we just saw that warrior card that comes in with taunt and gives another minion taunt, which means warrior taunt, good quality weapons. Nice. Bum 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 bum. Wraithguard. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that damage to your hero. 4/3 for 2, which is insane, but it's probably going to deal at least 3 points of damage to your character. And as a warlock, I mean, your health is a resource, but as an aggro lock, you're probably okay with that. That is some crazy momentum. Another Druid of the Saber. Refreshments Vendor. 3/5 for 4. Battlecry, restore 4 health to each hero. I mean, you get to choose when you use this. Cool golden card art, though. I like it. Power Word Glory. Choose a minion. Whenever it attacks, restore 4 health to your hero. No shit. That is a lot of health potential. And it could be an enemy minion as well. I like it. And it's not even when the minion attacks you, it's when the minion attacks anything. Oh, I like it. Void Crusher. 6 casting cost, 5/4 demon. Inspire, destroy a random minion for each player. I mean, there's a good chance it's going to kill itself pretty fast. And it's a pretty expensive creature. Like, if this ability were on, like, a 2 or 3 casting cost creature, it would be insanely potent. Yeah, I don't know about the Void Crusher. I mean, I guess you sort of use it as a semi... No, it's weird. Another Living Root. I still like the sort of quality of the card, but I don't know how well it'll fit. Flash Shield, sort of the same thing. Brave Archer, like it. Tournament Medic. Oh, yes, with the Inspire. Yeah, like that. Competitive Spirit, that's new. It's a secret for a Paladin. When your turn starts, give your minions +1/+1. Oh, I love it. So it's nothing that gets triggered by anything an opponent does. They sort of have to worry about it because it's another secret. And your minions get +1/+1. Honestly, if you only have one minion, it's still not bad. But as a Paladin, you have quite a bit of ability to get a handful of minions on the board. Neat. I like it. I like it a lot. I tend to like weenie decks, so I think that's part of it. Another Buccaneer. All right, we're getting quite a few of those. All right, Argent Lance. Paladin Weapon. Reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, you get +1 durability. Okay. Draenei Totem Carver. Battlecry. Gain +1/+1 for each friendly totem. Well, most likely this is going to be at least a 5/5 for 4. And that's not bad card efficiency. And sometimes it'll be a 6/6 for 4. Oh, good. All right, another Clockwork Knight. Knigget. Come on, give me a legendary. What's a guy got to do to get a legendary around here? Do they have any in this set? I'm pretty sure they do. Fist of Jaraxxus, Eridar Lord. When you play this card, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. Well, you don't have to discard a card. It's random enemy, not minion or player or anything like that. So presumably it'll choose just like the magic missile. This is just a single fat magic missile. So it might hit a player, it might hit a minion. It's a little lack of controllability, but it is a lot of damage. And of course, if the board on the other side is clear, you know you're going to hit the enemy, so maybe use this as a kill. Inspire, okay, that guy. Dreadsteed, 4 casting costs, 1/1. Death Rattle, summon a Dreadsteed. Oh, this is one, I remember seeing this one. This is one of the ones they leaked early. So a 1/1 for 4 is obviously crap, but unless it gets silenced, you'll always have a Dreadsteed in play, which is really cool. I don't know if it's super strong or not. I have no idea. Maybe it's insanely good. Maybe it's insanely weak. Maybe it's situational, in particular, you know, like Demon Synergy. But I love the mechanic. And I feel like it's probably pretty decent. Undercity Valiant, combo, deal 1 damage. So 3/2 for 2 is solid, and it can potentially deal an extra damage to something of your choice, presumably. No, it's cool. I like it. Another King Alec. All right, King Zellic, I should say. Open. All right, seen it. Wait, which one? Oh, this is my rare? Right. Yeah, all right. It's kind of a weak pack. Although the injured Gvaldir's definitely got some possibility with the Priest deck. Seen it and is boring. Seen it and is kind of interesting. Seen it. Savage Combatant. A 5/4 for 4 Druid card. Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn. So as a Druid, your ability is get +1 attack, +1 armor, right? So this means as long as you get this guy out, you activate your Druid ability and you've got a +3 attack, which kills a shit ton of stuff. Gives you huge amounts of board control. I love this. This is really good. And what's nice about it is it's a great turn 4 drop. A 5/4 in turn 4 is fine. But it's also a great drop anytime after turn 6 where you can go play him, activate my ability, hit something with my Druid for 3 points of damage. That is really nice. Love him. Good. Open. Shadowpan Rider. That's new, even though it's common. Combo, gain +3 attack. So now he comes in as a 6/7 for 5, although you do have to have the ability to combo him. That is a pretty potent card. I don't know, though. I don't know. It's a big fat card. Good cost if you combo it, but you're not actually casting this in turn 5. Although, I suppose if you have a coin, I mean, that's always the thing with the rogue, right? If you have the coin, and you cast this on turn 4, then it's insane, but you can't just count on that all the time. Although, there is a rogue card, I think, that gives you an extra coin if it hits a player or something, doesn't it? Oh! Legendary! The Mist Caller. 4/4 for 6 Shaman card. Battle Cry. Give all minions in your hand and deck? +1/+1? And deck? Are you for serious? So this won't boost your hero power totems. But what I like about this is that once he's been cast, it doesn't matter what happens to him, he's done his job. It is a 6 casting cost card though, so that's pretty late game. And late game of 4/4, like the problem is by turn 6, sometimes it might be like you need the exact right card or you're going to die. And Mistcaller isn't going to save you from death on turn 6 because he's only a 4/4, he doesn't have taunt or anything like that. But that's cool. Evil Heckler, another healing wave. He also costs quite a bit, and combined with things like Healing Wave and other cards that deal with, like, you know, the casting cost of your creature. Huh, interesting. Windwalker. Give right to Friendly Beast, +3 health. Maiden of the Lake, right. With the cheaper hero power. The cheaper hero power with all those Inspire mechanics. Holy crap, man. Maybe that is going to play into things a lot. You can only hero power once per turn still, but... Give your other minions +1/+1 permanently, so he doesn't boost himself. So you have to have him and other minions in play, and have a chance to use your hero power. And he's only 4/3 for 5. Actually, that low health is going to be the biggest problem, because he's going to be pretty easy to kill before you can really get to use him much. He's probably not going to make any cuts, but I don't know. There's a lot of text on this one. 2/3 for 2 is fine. Battle Cry, gain an empty mana crystal. That's amazing. Oh, Death Rattle, lose a mana crystal. Okay, so you gain an empty mana crystal, which means you can't use that mana this turn, but on subsequent turns, you'll be one ahead on the mana curve, but whenever he dies, you lose that mana crystal. So, worst case scenario, he's just a 2/3 for 2, because he gets killed before you can ever make use of his mana crystals. But even if he just lives one turn, so you cast him on turn 2, and on turn 3, all of a sudden you've got 4 mana crystals. That is a hell of a ramp boost. Even if he dies right after that, and then you get back to your normal mana curve, who cares? Wow, love it. Flame Juggler, 2/3 for 2, deal 1 damage to random menu. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Maiden in the Lake, Bash. Deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. Solid card. I mean, a lot of times this will trade 1-for-1 with another creature. Gaining armor is an important part of the warrior mechanic. At the very least, it's like 3 extra health, but most likely it will actually combo with some other crap that you're trying to do as a warrior. I like that card. 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. It's not the end of the world. The question is an 8/5 for 6 a good, solid card? It's pricey. Strong enough to survive a lot of stuff. Can do a huge amount of damage. Obviously, it can be big game hunter and things, but, yeah. I don't like anything without text. Like, okay, can I have fewer Fearsome Doom cards, please? I got lots of them now. In fact, I think I have too many. I think I'll be dusting some of them. Okay, an epic. Oh, another lock and load. All right, well, I'm actually happy. I don't really play much Hunter. I did play some for a little while. But if you're going to want to make a deck based around lock and load, obviously you're going to want to have more than one of them. It's pretty important. Battlecry, deal 4 damage. Wow, fucking expensive. You probably not want to cast it naturally. Although, what's interesting about this is it does give you a huge amount of board control, because most likely this is going to kill something. And then you have a 9/7 on the board. But I feel like you're going to want to find a different way, a less direct way to get him into play. Argent Horse Rider. Yeah, I mean, he's not the same as, you know, some of the more expensive dudes, right? But this can often still trade 2-for-1, and that's not bad. Armored Warhorse. Might start with Charge. A 5/3 for 4 that might have Charge. Yeah, I'm not sold on that one. This is a Beast, which opens up other possibilities, but I don't know. Okay, I like the Totem Carvers. I think they're potentially okay. I like the idea of Ancestral Knowledge. We'll have to test out exactly how well it fits the curve. I think the Silent Knight is solid. Can't complain about that. This, I think, is stupid and sucky. And, oh yes, the Demon Fuse. Wow, giving people the mana crystals. But that is a lot of damage. I think that's my first tournament attendee. A 2/1 with Taunt. You know, that's not terrible, because what's interesting about this is that, yeah, while he's likely to die, early on, he probably trades 1-for-1 with something, which is fine. And later on, he can buy you an extra turn. If you pick him up on turn 8, you know, it's not all lost because it's like, well, now you can't kill me with your creatures this turn. And meanwhile, maybe I have another creature in play or some other card already in my hand that, or you know, something. It's not a bad card even late on because it can often just hold off for one turn. I mean, he's pretty squishy, but he's, again, if zoo decks are still a thing, he might fit in there. Still love this card. Powered Glory, right? Alex Straz's Champion. 2/3 for 2. Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack on charge. Okay, well, a 3/3 with charge on turn 2, that's insane. I mean, you do have to be holding a dragon. I don't know how many dragon cards there are in the game that are available to warriors. Oh, I got an epic. Enter the Colosseum. Destroy all minions except each player's highest attack minion. So, each person is going to still have one minion in play once this is done. The one with the highest attack. You get to choose when this goes off. So that's good. But there's going to be lots of situations where it does literally nothing. Where each person only has one, or you have more creatures than them, you don't want to lose it. Or, yeah, it kills off one of their things, but it's like a 1/1 weenie, so who cares? This is going to be, I guess, meta-dependent. It's very powerful, but, yeah. Fencing Coast. Battlecry, the next time you use your hero power costs 2 less, which means it's free. So on turn 3, you can put it down to 2/2 for 3, which isn't great, but immediately use your hero power for free. And combined with some Inspire mechanics, yeah, maybe. I like Totem Golem. 3/4 for 2 with Overload. Oh, that is solid. You know, if you do put him down on turn 2, that's epic. That's really good. And turn 3, you only have 2 mana crystals, but you can still use your hero power. Oh, I like it. You probably wouldn't want to go coin turn 1 with him, though, unless you had a 1-drop in your hand. There we go. Cut Purse. This is another one of the leaked cards. Whenever this minion attacks a hero, add the coin to your hand. So, if your opponent has a taunt creature out, that foils the Cut Purse. But other than that, it's awesome. I mean, you don't always need the extra mana, but the coin is so good for firing off combos, and it does keep accelerating things. I love Cut Purse. I can see a lot of things. I think it's more of like a rogue sort of aggro deck, but I don't know. Maybe it can be used with lots of things. So much possibilities. Thunder Bluff Valiant. Inspire. Gives your totems +2 attack. Really? So, a 3/6 for 5 isn't great, although if you can give things taunt or whatever, then all of a sudden it becomes a pretty useful creature. Although, honestly, you might not want to give this taunt because you might actually want to keep this around. So hopefully, ideally, you already have a totem out. And then use your hero power, which puts out a new totem. Wait, does something after you use your hero power. So even if you don't have a totem out, you use your hero power, puts a totem into play, then Inspire triggers, which gives it +2 to attack. Not to mention if you had other totems in play. Holy frack. I like that. It is, oh no, it's good. I like this. Right, you, and you. Okay. Open faster. Flame Juggler, right. Sailor Champion, right. Colosseum Manager. Right, that weird one, and then this and that. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to complain about having another Bash. I think Bash is probably a fine card. Okay, so all those. Sideshow Spell Eater. A 6/5 for 6, all classes. Battle Cry. Copy your opponent's hero power. So you replace your hero power with your opponent's hero power. But most likely, you've probably built your deck around the assumption that your hero power is going to be doing a certain something. Obviously, it does nothing if you're fighting against someone of the same class as you. And then all you've got is a 6/5 for 6. I feel like this is pretty shitty. Although, I suppose if there's a meta or something, or a tournament, and there's like some sort of deck that is frequently played that involves buffing your own hero power, and then someone goes and copies that buffed hero power, I guess that's a thing? I don't know. Third one of those guys. Second one of these guys. Who might be awesome. I don't know. We'll have to see that. how that works out. But nothing new in that pack. Another Convert. I think that's the first Silver Hand Regent, even though it's a common. 3/3 for 3, that gives you an extra 1/1. Oh, every time you use a hero power for all classes. Actually, that's not bad. I don't think it'll make into a lot of constructed decks. But I'm not going to say it's got, like, poor efficiency. Ba-da-da-da. Rare, another Alex Strauss's Champion. Okay. So now there's some incentive to make a Warrior Dragon deck, assuming I get any dragons. Only one legendary so far. Oh, yeah. No, I like that. I'm actually happy to have another one, because I might do a deck there. All right, we're getting lots of Buccaneer. Well, I mean, common cards. You're going to end up with a bunch of extras of those, obviously. Come on, baby. All right. Getting some disappointing packs here. Oh, there's an epic. Grand Crusader. All classes, 5/5 for 6. Adds a random Paladin card to your hand. So, okay, a 5/5 per 6. That is expensive, which is the biggest problem. You can get more powerful ones, but honestly, after a certain point, the sort of power of a creature stops mattering quite as much. I do like that it, does give you an extra card in your hand. You don't know what it's going to be, of course. It's not just like Battlecry, draw a card. Battlecry, get a Paladin card. Now, this works no matter what class you're playing. Yeah, I don't know. Could be crap, could be awesome. Yeah. Savage Combatant, do like this quite a bit, as discussed earlier. Void Crusher, weird? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. At least the server's not really lagging anymore. That's nice. Argent Lance. Oh, yeah. This, I think, is fine. I like the cheap weapons are good. And with 3 durability, this can get a lot of bang for your buck, especially if you've got anything else that combos with having weapons or anything like that. Okay. Still, though. Oh. Alright. Well, golden common. I can trash it for more crystals. Wormrest Agent. Oh, another if you're holding a dragon. This one's a priest one. Okay, it's a 1/4 for 2, which is a fair amount of stats. I mean, it's normal, but gains +1 and taunt. That's actually really potent, but again, we need the dragons. Another Enter the Colosseum, which I'm not sold on. Again, I might not be seeing something big picture here, or even little picture. It's entirely possible. Mogor's Champion, right. Not terribly good. I don't know. Not loving these packs, you guys. Another Healing Wave. I think that's my 3rd one. Another Polymorph Boar. That makes my 2nd one. I'm waiting for someone to educate me. Like, see some tournament play about, like, the real proper power combos that you can make with that Polymorph Boar. Another Spawn of Shadows. It's my 3rd one. And he's still weird. The art's weird, too. Another Void Crusher. There's a lot of cards in here I'm not really sold about in this expansion. I mean, I guess there's a lot of cards like that in vanilla, too, but... Fallen Hero. Your hero power deals 1 extra damage. Hello. I mean, a 3/2 for 2 is always fine. It's a little more on the aggro side, which I don't always play aggro mage. But now all of a sudden, your mage ability deals 2 damage. So it's basically the same as being a shadow form priest, as long as this is in play. Most likely, you only get to use that once if you're lucky. Although, this makes this not a terrible card late game either. Because you play him, and then you can use your mage power for 2, which is still decent. Plus, you might have a taunt creature or something like that to protect it. It's a nice, solid creature. I actually like it quite a bit. Thunderbluff Valiant. Excellent. I can't remember if I've got 2 of those already. But I think that's a cool card. I love playing Shaman. It's very satisfying getting down a bunch of totems. Another Dreadseed! Well, if these turn out to be awesome, I've got 2 of them now, so that's good. Another Argent Lance, which means I can definitely start to disenchant some stuff here. Bum, 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 bum. Rare and an epic. Another Cut Purse. Good! Want the pair of those. Excellent. Very happy about that. And a 3rd Lock and Load. Alright, well, at least we're getting epics. They're worth crystals if nothing else. Golden epic. Nice. Right, another one of his. So that makes 2 of these guys. Okay. Competitive spirit. That makes 2 of those. Can't complain about that. Saboteur. Your opponent's hero power costs 5 more next turn. A 4-3 for 3 is fine. And basically this is, you don't get to use your hero power next turn. Which honestly isn't going to be a huge deal most of the time. But it's a thing. Is that my first Frigid Snowball? I feel I would have noticed it before because that's cute. +1 spell damage of all classes. 2/6 means it's actually quite hard to remove. Which means you can make use of that spell damage. I like it. I don't think it's going to be a power card or anything like that, but I think it's a perfectly fine card. And again, might be the sort of thing that could be very nice in Arena. Rare. Sparring Partner. 3/2 for 2 with Taunt. Oh, and gives another minion Taunt. Excellent. So I have 2 of these guys. I love them. I think this is really, really quite nice. An epic. Stable Master. Give a friendly beast immune this turn. Okay. That's good. That's, you know, it's like a Turbo Divine Shield. I mean, I guess it's not... It's almost exactly the same as saying give a beast Divine Shield, because then you usually are going to use it. You just don't get to save it with this. Yeah, I don't know. A rare. 4/2/3 immune. Does mean the other thing is probably attack something else and kill it without losing it. So most likely it's going to give you card advantage every time. Boom, 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 boom. Burgle! Okay, I think that makes a second Burgle. Still not completely sold on them, although they're cheap, which means it's a good way to, like, bring that into something that fires more combos or something. Yeah, Battlecry, summon any random totem. I think that's only my second one of these guys, even though he's common. And then another Totem Carver, so I definitely have a lot of those. Well, there's all those cards. Let's go to my collection here and see exactly how much I can disenchant. Bum, 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 bum. You can see, like, remember Nimshzu? Yeah, that's how long it's been since I've really particularly played much. Crafting. Disenchant for 705 dust. Boom, 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 boom. It's a cool animation. I do like it. So there we go. Some new cards. What is this up here? Oh, card backs. And I won't have unlocked that many because I haven't been playing the last few seasons. Well, back in one day. Oh, it's just off for today. Interesting. That's a neat pop-up. I've never seen that before. I've played, I think, 2 Tavern Brawls. I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I may be making some more Hearthstone videos in the future. Hopefully I can actually learn the cards again and maybe get good at the game before I try to do that. Or maybe I'll just do some, like, random blind, like, stupid arena stuff or something like that. We'll see how it goes. I have enough gold for something like that. Or I'll construct a totally random deck and then see what the competition looks like. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.